Welcome, prospective Purdue University students, to the online Masters of Education in Learning Design and Technology virtual information session. Throughout this session, you will be introduced to our guest speaker. You will learn a little bit about Purdue, as well as the curriculum overview, our competency badges, technology badges. We will do a quick question and answer session and end it with the application process. I am Amanda Krobitz. I am currently serving as an online admissions representative. I am a Purdue alumni who got my education in the secondary education program. Purdue is a very well-renowned school. We are ranked 18th nationwide among public schools, as well as 57th in national universities. We do have students from 134 different countries, and we are a part of the Big Ten Conference. Some of the program advantages that you will see here at Purdue University is that you will be able to complete your master's degree in less than 2 years. There's also flexibility to incorporate your coursework within your current profession. Through our asynchronous program, you will be able to meet life obligations and allow for work-life balance. We offer a curriculum that emphasizes applied learning and innovative curricula. You will also be working among a faculty of leading industry professionals who currently work within the field. Your career applications will be for working professionals in a variety of fields such as K through 12, higher education, the military, business, and healthcare. I am pleased to introduce you to our guest speaker, Dr. Tim Newby, who is the professor and program coordinator for this program. As you can see from all of his accolades here, he is wonderful, and I am very excited to introduce you to him. So welcome, Dr. Newby.
Thank you, Amanda. It's great to be here. Maybe I can take a few minutes and just talk a little bit about our program in learning design and technology. We often refer to it as LTT just because it's easier to say that. Overall, our mission there, as you can see, is to prepare individuals at the master's level to serve as outstanding educators and leaders in the field. And that's exactly what we're after, is to have our students go out and make a difference in the world. We have a great program. It's one that I'm very, very proud of. We have cutting edge research that we've looked at. We have individuals who their lifelong pursuit has been to investigate exactly what learning design and technology is all about. And we're the ones that are creating many of the research studies and other things in the area which are contributing to the field as a whole. So we enjoy what we do research on it, and most importantly is we design courses so that individuals can learn and be able to be practicing out in the field. And as you see on that last thing, we engage with schools, we engage with business and industries and not-for-profit organizations because they have this common thing, and that is that everybody needs to learn. In this information society that we live in, people really need to be able to use technology in various and different ways, but more importantly than that, they all have to learn. So whether your background is in engineering, your background is in agriculture, or wherever it is in education itself, we have this common common area that we all go towards, and that is learning. And that's what this whole field is about. It's exciting, it's fun. I've enjoyed it for years and years now in the study of that. So you can see I'm excited about this. So that's what our mission is, to help you to figure out how to be excited about it also. We can go to the next slide if you want there. I can tell you a little bit about our core curriculum in the program itself. That's the clock tower at Purdue, by the way. You can see there's a number of different courses that we have, and we always go by their numbers. So a lot of times it's difficult for students right at the very first as we talk about 569 versus 572 versus 531. But I'll kind of go through and just tell you some highlights there. There's going to be an opening course that you would take, which is the 513 course, which is the foundations course, which gives you a breadth of the field, help you to get an idea of what this field is all about, what you need to do within the field, etc. And then you have courses such as 528, which talks about, from a business point of view, what is there besides actually training that you can work on. Things like motivational aspects. How do you get individuals to work within an ergonomically designed environment so that they can achieve the performance that they need? And so we really look at things along those lines. Then we have foundational courses such as Learning Theories and Instructional Design, the 531 course. Very, very important course. It sets the stage for you to understand why we do things the way that we do them and how we can then start to produce really reliable instruction and have reliable learning at the end. So a critical course in all of that. Your 572 course and your 569 course, that's the 572 is the Introduction to Instructional Design. That's where you learn to actually become an instructional designer and all the different analyses that you use and all the how you analyze the learning situation that you're within, your learners and everything else. So that lays the foundation, and we follow it up actually with 569, which is you get into use all of that within an e-learning environment. And so you learn to become more adept at developing instructional materials in an e-learning way. Jumping down, you look down at 672, that's the advanced course. So after you've done the 569 and the 572, then you're ready for the advanced course and some of the things that are there. Very challenging course, but one in which our students come back repeatedly and say, oh, thank you for that, because I'm in an environment now where it's requiring me to use those type of cases that we have in 572, or excuse me, in 672 to really accomplish the things that are necessary. The 577 course is evaluation and assessment. You can't do anything without knowing how to continuously improve our instruction, as well as how we can assess the students in a way in which they can show that they've performed the way that you want them to. And so the 577 course is really important. And then my favorite course of all, and I saved it to last, and that is the 573 course. That's the Instructional Development Practicum. And this course, you get to pick out a course or pick out a project on your own. And the whole course is about you doing that project. So after you've taken all these other classes and learned and tried and worked with little individual things, in the practicum, you go out and you actually attack a real problem. And you go into a nonprofit organization, you go in within your own organization and work with there and come up with and show and demonstrate that you've actually learned some of the things within the program. And that's the course that I supervise, and I'm just really excited about it. It's a fun course. So you see, if you look at the whole thing, now these are all the core curriculum. These are what courses that everybody takes. It really gives you a very solid foundation of knowing what instructional design is all about. So, man, if we go to the next slide, I'll show you here. These are what's known as technologies. We call them selectives and other electives. So because this is educational technology, or because it's learning design and technology, we want to emphasize technology. We do that in a couple different ways. One of those is that you're going to be given here's a variety of different courses that deal specifically with technology in some different ways. So the 556 course, the 560 course, 64, and the 566. You can select one of those courses to actually accentuate then your understanding of technology and how that works. If you want, you can actually pick two of those. You get two electives. So you can pick from the top list one, and from the bottom one, the electives. You can pick another one of those, or you can pick two from the top. It's whichever way you want, but you will be getting the technology infused within your program. The electives down bottom, there's some absolutely fantastic courses there. 575, all about distance education, and of course, in the world in which we live right now, everything has gone distance ed, so a very important course. You've got motivation and instructional design, a really solid course, wonderful course to teach. It's so much fun. And then, of course, look at 633. You've got instructional design project management. For a lot of you, that is a very big deal, and so we offer that as an elective for you to take there. And then if you're thinking about further research in other areas, we've got a research course there too as an elective. So you can see all the different electives and other things that you can add to it, and of course you can then mold your own schedule based on or mold your own plan of study by picking some of these yourself. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide. There's a couple other things that I want to talk to you about that is unique to the Purdue Learning Design and Technology program. One of those is that we have what is known as competency badges. All the way through the program, every semester, which is 5 semesters, you're going to take a 1-credit course during that time. And during that course, you're going to be working on what is known as competency badges. And basically what we've done is we've gone out and we've got, if you see that International Board of Standards for Training, Performance, and Instruction, that is an international board that has set up what an instructional designer should be, what kind of competencies they should have. We've adapted those, we've used those and we've adapted them for our program and for what we think is most necessary for real instructional designers to have. All the way through our program, we've matched what you do in those classes and the experiences that you have to those competencies. but how do we show that you've actually accomplished those? Well, one of the ways that we've traditionally done at the university level is that we've given you a grade for a class. And so you have a class and you get an A in instructional design. Well, that doesn't really tell anybody else outside of the course what you did to get that or what you can now do. But what we've done with the competency badges is that within these courses, within these, we've set up these standards, and those standards then we've developed the competencies from, and now we've come up with badges. And so in your one credit course throughout the semesters, you will take the time to show my coursework has done this, at work I've done these things, and this is how I'm going to show that these specific competencies have been accomplished. And so we have a number of different competencies, and what you do is you go into the badge and you show that you've accomplished those things. You write up a reflection on why you think that that is counted, and then you're graded on that. You're evaluated to see if you've reached the level of competency that is necessary. By the time you get done with our program, you now have a number of these competencies, all of the competencies that are necessary to show that you are an instructional designer, and they are in a digital badge form. So that if you go into a job interview, for example, you can say, well, yes, I have these competencies. Say, well, what does that mean that you have an evaluation competency? You can click on it and show through the metadata that this is exactly what that means. I can do these things, and it's listed right there. And moreover than that, if you want to show it, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can say, and this is exactly what I did. And that data comes up and shows them the projects you worked on, the videos you created, whatever it is that showed your competencies. And so you go through all of those as you're working through it. It really shows at the end, you create, the last project is to create a portfolio with all these badges in it, and it's done all electronically, and it's a very, very powerful way to reflectively show you what you've accomplished and the world what you've accomplished. So that's what these competencies badges are all about, and it's the only program in the world that offers those. We're very sold on the idea of micro-credentials and this idea of being able to highlight those competencies that you have. Now let's go to the next slide, and we'll talk about what's known as technology badges. Using the same concept of micro-credentials, we've developed a series of technology badges. The reason we did this is because we felt that there are individuals out there, certain ones that come to us and say, you know, I really need to know about a certain kind of software. In my job, they really want us to be able to use, for example, articulate Storyline. Storyline is a very powerful program. Well, in the classwork that you have here, perhaps you will run into a program that needs that, and so you'll have to learn about it. But where are you going to learn it? Is it somewhere in the class? We don't have specific classes on articulate Storyline. We may have classes that ask you to develop things with articulate Storyline, but they're not specifically about that. But what we do offer is a number of technology badges where you can go. It teaches you about that. They're individual, they're online. You'll go into our portfolio system, or our passport system, and there select the badge that you would like to work on, the type of technology, whether it's some type of e-learning technology, whether it's some type of video editing software, whatever it is. And we have a number of those badges. We have actually over 50 of those badges. And then you select that and you work on it and you show mastery at that. You turn it in, they're graded. Individuals look at it, tell you, hey, you need to redo this. They're based on a mastery level. You continue to do that. And then it comes back to you and you're awarded those badges. So again, at the end, when you're doing your overall competency portfolio, you can add those technology badges to it. So that allows you then to demonstrate to others in the outside world that, hey, not only can I do all of these instructional design things, but I also have competencies to at least this level within with all of these different technologies. And so if you really need something in certain type of video editing, you want something in articulate Storyline, you can individually go and get those at any time. We also leave those badges available to individuals after you graduate. So if you get back out, get a new job, with your new degree, you go out, you get a new job, you go into the field, and they say, hey, do you know anything about this? And you go, oh, I've never used that before, but I can find out. You can check back into the badges, do that badge, get certified, and then come back and demonstrate that you got that certification. So that's what these badges are all about, so that you can understand how it all works and what and how, you know, it really facilitates the learning within the class itself, but it extends beyond the classes and beyond the degree itself to back to your workforce. Right? So let's go to the next slide. Yes, the online experience. This program is totally 100% online. In fact, sometimes if you, well, when it is possible, we want, once you graduate, you can come to graduation here on campus. Your degree says exactly the same as a face-to-face course here on campus. You get that degree. But through this experience online, we have a number of different things that you need to know about, that you need to understand as you're getting in there. We have a learning management system. That's the LMS. It's known as D2L Brightspace. It works very, very well. It's brand new to Purdue. We're just starting into it, and I've used it for a number of semesters now, and it works very, very well. That's going to be your central core. For each of your classes, you'll be assigned one of those classes. You'll go into the Brightspace, and everything will be outlined there for you to do, and how you're to do it, and the schedule of when you're to do it. It's in asynchronous classes, as we said, so you'll have 24/7 access to those courses. Once you're in the class, then you have it, and you will be able to work it around your schedule. We have lots of options for you to make engagement with the faculty through online discussions, through synchronous connections as the faculty set those up. We'll have lots of projects and things where you're working with your peers, even though your peers don't sit in the same classroom at the same time with you. And so we all of the ways in which you can do that. Anyway, so there's those opportunities for live interactions. Basically, when we talk with students, we're saying you really need to be thinking about a 15 to 20 hours per week. That doesn't always go. Sometimes it's a little less than that. Sometimes it's significantly more than that as certain projects get required. But overall, 50 to 20 hours a week. So a few hours each night that's spread out over the week. It works out really, really well for that. We also have what is known as the LDT Online Student Center. That student center is basically it's a space within our LMS and Brightspace that you can always go to. We have all kinds of things. There are all kinds of helpful insights, connections with people that have gone through the program that you can talk with. We put up, we post things there such as new jobs that individuals have come across or that are needing help, and all of that type of stuff happens within that student center. So I think that pretty much outlines the basics of our courses and the online experience that you're going to have. And I know there's going to be lots of questions, but that's the basics and the outlines for that. So Amanda, I'll turn it back.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Dr. Newby. That was so informative. I know that's really going to help some of our prospective students. Now, as an admissions advisor, these are some of the frequently asked questions that I get. So I just wanted to get some of your feedback on them. So I'm going to start with the first one. I don't have an education or technology background. Will I be able to keep up with the coursework?
Yeah, the courses have been designed so that let me say, all of our students that come into our program, they come from all different areas. So there are a number from education who are teachers, but many of them come from businesses, from other areas. Some are just getting into the area and into the training industry or whatever. So they have a whole lot of different backgrounds. We've taken that into consideration. So we start with the basics, but it's a rigorous schedule that we go through. It's one in which you'll want to check into things and to really pay attention to how things are going. The technology badges help, because if you get into a class ahead of time, the teachers will kind of encourage you to say, hey, in this class, we're going to have this kind of project. In the past, it's worked best if you had knowledge with these kind of skills. And if you don't have anything there, then I would suggest that you go out and you get a technology badge and you work on that to get your skills up and going with that. So you'll learn some of those things as you go through. Some of the classes will be basically all about the technology. We'll take you from infancy, where you don't know very much about it at all, right through the full course, so that you're very skilled with using it. But those are the specific technology selectives that we have. So am I worried about you? No, not really. But you are going to have to put in some time as far as catching up on certain things if you feel there's a need for or a lack of understanding in certain education fields. The beauty of learning design and technology is that we're not going to hit you with certain theories that were way over your head to start with. We'll build from that so that you can see the logic of it. And that's probably the other really important thing, is that it's so dang logical. If you can just think through the process, you'll see why we're doing what we're doing. It's not something that is like magic that is happening or something that you can't understand. Learning design technology is a very logical area. It's very practical. And so you'll catch on very quickly at, hey, this makes sense. And that's what some of the joy of the whole thing is, that it really does make sense. And so even if your background isn't strong in certain areas, we'll show you why it makes sense to think in those areas and to build from there. So long answer for a short question. Sorry about that.
Excellent. Thank you. I know that our faculty is very involved, but we do often get questions from students about the backgrounds of the faculty. So could you please speak on the backgrounds that some of the LDT faculty have?
Sure. I'm very proud of our faculty. I've been the leader of the group for, I don't know, a number of years, and so we have a varied background for some of them. Some of them are very heavily oriented in technology, for example. They've come through the training in business and industry area and have switched over into teaching higher education and brought that expertise with them. So they have a lot of practical instructional design background. We have others that have come through the lines and being very strong as far as business and industry, and they've come in, so they're human performance background, human performance and behavior, and that are very strong in that area. What overarches everything is that we are at a Research One institution, which means that we get promoted based upon our ability to do research. And research is a key part of this. Now, it's very practical in the area of learning, design, and technology, but the faculty that you have at Purdue University are very skilled in their profession and very well known throughout the world for their accomplishments. And so you're not dealing with individuals who don't know the field. People, we've written the textbooks, we've written the articles that you'll be using in class, actually, in many cases, because we're those authorities that are there. So we have individuals that not just know about distance learning, they've studied it and they're world renowned in their understanding of it, and in their and people recognizing them as knowing the background in that. And that's not just in that area, but also in motivation, in instructional strategies, in very many areas. And we've studied with individuals who have taught this for years, and so we have very diverse, but yet at the same time, very, very strong background for what's there.
Excellent, thank you. I know this is also a big concern about students who are looking at our LDD program, thinking in terms of their careers. So what are some of the career options and growth potential within learning design and technology? Could you possibly speak on that for us?
Yes. I can't overemphasize the need for instructional designers right now. As we've gone through various and different challenges within the world, whether it's challenges of just the information explosion versus various different training type of things, various different problems that we have with pandemics and other areas, all of a sudden the need for being able to access information, the need to create information, and the need to be able to disseminate it in various and different ways. The career options that are there are just exploding as far as I'm concerned. I see all the time where universities, for example, in higher education are asking to hire not 1 or 2 instructional designers, but 30 and 40 instructional designers. They're needed at this time. Industry is the same way. How do we help our individuals who now are all of our workers are now at a distance? How do we train them now? All of that has to happen because instructional designers are involved. So this is an area that has a huge growth potential, especially over the next few years, and we're excited about that. It should be an area that people should be clamoring towards because they see the need that is out there. And we're being asked all the time. Our students are always being asked to go and help in other areas across the university and across the town in which we live and the state, just because of their expertise in how they design instructional materials. So it's a great area to be becoming involved in.
Agreed, definitely agreed. So another question that we often get, and I'm a little biased since I am a Purdue alumni, but what makes the Purdue Learning Design and Technology program stand out in your opinion?
Well, probably first and foremost, there's a couple things, but one in particular is our faculty. Our faculty are very concerned about having a rigorous, practical program, one in which our students can look at and say, yes, that is exactly what I've needed and we solve problems. And our faculty are highly involved in the courses. We all teach these courses. We do hire some additional individuals to help us, but almost all of them have a very strong background from Purdue. So you have that strength that comes from a very loyal group of individuals who understand what our key outcomes are supposed to be and are working very, very hard for that. And we want our students to understand that too. So you may not have a regular faculty member teaching your class, but I can guarantee you that they're the ones that designed it, and they're the ones that are overseeing everything that is there, because our program gets big enough that they can't be in every class, but they will be in most of the classes. So we have that. So that's number one. And the other thing that I think that I'm most proud of is that it's just Purdue. Purdue has a huge brand name, and the reason is because we solve problems. We are, it's Purdue Boilermakers, and the emphasis there is on makers. We make things happen. I'm just overly excited about being there. I've been at Purdue for years and years, and I've never wanted to leave because it is such a wonderful institution that produces students that we can be very proud of. And that's what we're looking for here, is more students that will go out and impact the world and take that Purdue brand with them.
Great. Thank you so much for those wonderfully articulated answers to our frequently asked questions. So at this point, you might be on board and ready to apply, and you're wondering, what do I need to do next? You need to get these things prepared for our application process. Our next term starts January 11th, and we are actively taking applications. Please reach out to your admissions advisor, and they can help you get started on these last few pieces that will be required, which will be the phone interview. We will also need a copy of your professional resume, as well as your official transcripts from your universities that you have attended. Additionally, we will need your short statement of purpose, which is a brief explanation about your background and your goals and what this program can do to help you. We will also need 3 letters of recommendation. Those can be professionally or academic. And then obviously we will need the online application and the application fee. But if this is of interest to you, please get in touch with your academic advisor, and they can go over these things and walk with you through every single step of the way. We thank you for joining us. You may check out some more information on online.purdue.edu. You can give us a call at 877-497-5851, or you can send an email with information requests to onlineprogramsadmissions@purdue.edu, and we will get back to you shortly. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you at Purdue University.